So I have been working remotely for the past 15 months, okay? And a lot of people now are asking me the question, okay, Radi, how did you do it? How are you setting yourself up for success? Because now this is our reality. So this webinar, as I said, is mostly knowledge sharing session. So I am sharing a bit more about what helped me, what are the processes, the ideas, the tools that have helped me. If you're interested, drop me a line later and I will send you this PowerPoint presentation. I don't mind whatsoever. So why have I called it building a muscle? You'll know in the next couple of slides, but first and foremost, for those of you who don't know me, obviously it makes sense to just share who I am. So my name is Radina. I am a psychologist. These are the countries that I have been living in. So I'm originally from Bulgaria. I've lived in Ireland, in the States, and in Singapore. I'm currently based in Dublin, Ireland. My background is HR and talent acquisition, and I've had the chance to work in quite large multinational companies like LinkedIn and Airbnb. So a lot of the experiences that I've built and that I'm working on now in my consulting company are related to really helping organizations scale. Maybe you're not going to be the next LinkedIn or the next Airbnb, but the whole idea of Vox Advisory came from, I want to give people the power back when it comes to both candidates and employees. So I want to build this bridge in between. So whether it's interview skills, whether it's webinars like this one, I think through sharing our knowledge, this is, you know, a way to go and become better person, better professional. So this is not a sales pitch whatsoever. So I'm really moving on in the right topic. But if you have any questions, again, you can connect with me on LinkedIn and you can ask me further. Right. So I am not big into motivational quotes, but I do like things that are related to our life from a different perspective, okay? So I personally really like this one because I think it resonates with the environment that we live in at the moment. A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. If everything is okay, everything is, you know, in your comfort zone, a lot of people have said the magic happens outside of your comfort zone. So if you think about it, for those of you who have been in personal training programs, you have started a brand new language. You have been on the opposite journey to build muscles, and not to lose weight, but to build muscles because you felt really skinny, you're really thin. It's really a grind, okay? So this is why I put this photo here, because the start is always very difficult. It's very demotivating and it's challenging, okay? But once you understand what are the right processes, who can help you, how to build up your routine, okay? You become stronger and you start building this muscle. This is exactly the reason why I decided to call this a remote muscle, because as everything in life, you can learn how to be better. You can absolutely learn. And at the moment, LinkedIn and all social media is full of people claiming to have nailed the remote working and 5 tips and 15 tips. And it's all, you know, very repetitive. So I'm sure that you're already overloaded with information, but I think it's still important to talk about the basics. And when it comes to remote work, the basics are actually the base human interaction, okay? I'm not going to talk about anything psychological. I'm purely going to talk about how I felt and how probably some of you are feeling, if not everyone, okay? So if you think about the personal training journey, okay, you want to lose weight, you want to feel better in your skin, you want to look in the mirror and say, gosh, I'm strong, I'm a beautiful person, I really love what I'm seeing. And it's usually a complex situation. If you only implement the right tools, what's going to happen? You don't have habits, you don't have routine. Okay, you have amazing tools, but you don't know what to do with them. If you put yourself on a diet, most likely you're gonna lose weight, but you're not gonna be muscly, okay? Because you're eating healthily, but you're not gonna build a muscle. If you only exercise, but you still continue to eat bad food, again, no result is going to, you know, happen really. So when it comes to this idea of remote work, I think it's built on 3 separate things. So first and foremost is your mindset. And I know that we're currently in a situation where, gosh, we are all pushed to work remotely. So for a lot of you, this is very, very new. So how do you shift your mindset? The second piece is, okay, I have the positive attitude. How can I start behaving in a way that is going to help me on the longer term? Because God only knows how long we're going to stay like that. We don't know. Particularly talking about the business, talking about the economy, most likely we're going to do that in the next 2 months, okay? So we have to have the right routines. And then ultimately, what are the right tools? So I'm going to give you all of the apps that I am using on a daily basis that are helping me, okay? Now, just very briefly, my story and what was I thinking when I started working remotely last year. The first one, will I make money? Obviously, that's the first question. Am I going to lose my job? For those of you who are pushed to work remotely and this is not your natural habitat, are you going to continue to make money? That's the number one question, most likely. The second one, do I have plan B? What's my plan B? Do I have savings? Do I do something differently? Do I learn how to become, Java developer from tomorrow? Do I start thinking about creating a course? What's my plan B? Then I was thinking, do I have enough support? And by support, it means your social support, so your social circle, your beloved ones, your family and friends. Do they understand what you're going through, particularly in your environment? Are you sharing how you feel? But also, is my community able to help me, or is the government able to help me? Particularly in Ireland, yes, we are facing some nice support ideas by the government, but is that going to be enough? Is this going to help me survive through this difficult time? The next one is, how do I plan in uncertainty? Oh, no one knows how, when, what's the right thing to do. Okay, so I asked myself this question last year because I was moving out of a very secure paycheck to a consultancy work. So for those of you who are thinking about consultancy, if you are, it's incredibly challenging moment, or it's incredibly challenging peace of mind to get used to the idea. I'm not getting paid. And it took me, for sure 6 months. It took me 6 months until I realized, okay, I have no idea how much money I'm going to make next month. Do I know enough? Imposter syndrome, there you go. Absolutely. And now more than ever, you'll be puzzled with technology. You'll be thinking, gosh, can I deal with that? There are these Zooms, Slacks, all of this stuff happening online. Can I cope with all this? Can I really, really do this right? We don't know. And to be honest, if someone tells you, oh yeah, I'm a master of performance management or project management, they are also doubting themselves at the moment, because we need to adjust to completely different tools than the ones that we're using usually, okay? And ultimately, what is the best approach? What does success look like in uncertainty? Can anyone guide me? No, in my case, there was absolutely no one. There were lots of, again, resources of people saying, yeah, this is how you work remotely, blah, blah, but nothing really resonated with my specific situation. So the only person that can truly help you is you and yourself, right? So my brain was looking like that. Questions. Am I okay? Do I know how to do that? What will happen if? What if I lose my job? In your case, these are absolutely normal questions that you're asking yourself. And the problem is that people are thinking, oh my gosh, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I need to feel better. And you're pushing yourself to feel better. But guess what? You need to allow yourself to feel all these weird feelings, to have your thoughts, to think outside of the box, to stay on your own. People are saying social distancing doesn't mean that you have to isolate yourself. But what about a bit of time for yourself, for your own thoughts, for your own reflections? I'm not saying, oh, now is the time to change your lifestyle. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying staying with yourself and being pushed into a bit of isolation of your mind might actually give you the answers that you're seeking for. Okay. This is a very simple thing that I have done. I do kind of a tradition at nighttime. to write a journal about the stuff that have happened during the day, what I'm planning to do tomorrow, and what is one thing I've learned today. And in all honesty, that's keeping me sane. That's really, really keeping me sane. It might not be your thing. This is just a tradition that I have created in the past 5 months because I want to be in the situation. I want to be present. You don't want your mind to be scattered. You don't want to constantly influence yourself by saying, oh yes, I am imagining myself, I'm on an island and I feel the breeze, I feel the sea, I smell the sea, I'm on the sand. I personally, that doesn't work for me. I prefer to be here in the moment and be realistic about my scenarios. I want to understand how I feel in terms of my body. Do I feel okay? Is there pain? Is there any specific area of my body that doesn't feel in tune? I want to be here and now. There is a great book if you if you get access to purchasing a book or just reading stuff online. The Power of Now. Really, really incredible book that helps you stay grounded. Um, I have been battling anxiety all my life. I do have a level of ADHD as well because my mind is constantly jumping from topic to topic. And these are grounding rules that help me. I want to feel my body. I want to allow myself to feel pity for myself, to cry, to go through all of the grind on my own, and that's totally fine, totally okay. One thing that I would say in terms of advice in regards to having the right mindset is, for those of you who are aware of what neurodiversity means and neuroscience in general, neuroscience is the science that is focused on understanding how the brain functions, how the brain operates. And it is quite helpful to understand what kind of stimuli um, um, make you react in a certain way. Okay, so particularly in a remote space, the communication is very different. How you perceive your day is different. You end up working longer hours. You end up changing your habits in terms of how you eat, because when you go to the office, you kind of have lunch break. Everyone else has the lunch break more or less at the same time. So you build up this routine. Same with commuting. But the brain learns if you give it different things to learn. Okay, so that's why I think this is pretty good picture here, because your IQ is not something that can change, but your EQ, your emotional intelligence, your empathy, your active listening skills, your perception of how your communication impacts others and vice versa is increasing tremendously in a remote setup. I've learned so much in the last 1 year, much more than the previous 5 years, which is insane. Because I'm pushed to think about other ways of engaging people. It's not just the face-to-face. It's my voice, it's my appearance, it's how I sound overall, how I look overall, much more than when you are in the same room with people and you're just used to, being there and people being around you. Okay. When it comes to behavior, and I want to be super honest, and this is exactly what I faced, because there are a lot of principles and ideas of how things should be done in the best possible way when you're working remotely. And then there is the reality, okay? You probably have seen on Instagram this trend, Instagram versus reality. That's exactly what I want to do as well. So I'm going to give you 6 different principles and how they actually look in reality. Time management. Yay. When you work remotely, time management is absolutely critical. This was one of the best advices I got from my other half, who is an entrepreneur. He said, you need to make sure you schedule everything, you keep your schedule, and you keep your time, because your time is precious. Everything is a total chaos. Absolutely. Even until now, my day is scattered. I don't eat at the usual time frame. When a client calls me, of course, I'll make myself available. When something happens and I want to host a free webinar, I'm like, okay, that's very interesting. So I'm pushing everything aside and I'm actually focusing on the webinar. So it's okay not to have full control over your time, okay? I put everything in colors. I put calls in color blue, webinars in color green, meetings or anything else in yellow. Okay, that helps me stay more or less coordinated. But you need to admit to yourself, it's okay to live in a chaos, at least for a certain period of time. The second principle, structure your priorities. I'm sure you've heard about the 80-20 rule and the prioritization pyramid matrix, sorry, prioritization matrix, and all of these super tricks about staying productive. Well, guess what? I don't have kids, but staying alive at the moment, making sure that your kids are okay or you're elderly. My parents are living 3,000 kilometers from me, and it's tearing my heart that I'm not there. I don't know what's happening with them. I keep calling them every single day. So in between, you know, you preserving your sanity, making sure you're healthy, doing the housework, cooking, other tasks, your customers or, you know, your colleagues are calling you, you have to be on Zoom or you have to be available here and there. It's a total mess. So, hey, priorities shift around constantly. And right now, our number one priority is make sure we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I can guarantee you, you're doing fine. Create healthy habits and routine. Yes, of course, it takes 21 days to build a routine, to create a habit, something that will make you feel better. Well, guess what? Some days it's absolutely impossible. Some days you wake up and you're low energy and you don't want to eat, you don't want to go out. Well, for those of you who can go out, I have a beautiful garden, and sometimes I just want to stay curled and not do much. Sometimes I just need to do my admin tasks and then feel sorry for myself. And that is okay. That is totally okay. Eat well, take vitamins and supplements. Yay! We need to take 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C supplements to make us feel better. And when I started working remotely, as I said, because I'm a solo trader, solopreneur, I started working on Saturdays and Sundays, which was insane because, yeah, I'm at home. My computer is in front of me anyway. Oh, let's check this email. Oh, yeah, let's do that. You forget about all the essential stuff. So I actually had to put a reminder, Radi, take your vitamins. I know it sounds funny, but it does make me feel better that I'm taking all of my supplements and I'm looking after my internal health as well as my external health. But sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes when it comes to eating well, you need quick and simple meals. Whatever you have in the fridge, put it all together, do a mix. I do have a couple of apps that are giving me some basic recipes because you want to be efficient, right? You want to be productive. You might decide to cook on a Sunday and then spread the meals through Monday to Wednesday, if you're lucky to do that. But in reality, you don't have the time, or you don't have the mindset, or when working remotely, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do some quick eggs and then I'm gonna go back to work. Okay, so that's totally fine. Communicating openly and frequently. Everyone keeps saying remote work means you have to communicate more, and you usually communicate via email, which can, you know, create a lot of question marks, and not everyone has the same way of interacting with other people. But guess what? All of us are so overloaded in terms of information. I hate my email box. And unfortunately, for those of you who are in a corporate environment and you receive a lot of emails, I now work with two screens. I've invested in a second screen and I have my emails. I try to check them not more than 3 times a day. In the morning, lunchtime, evening time. And that's, again, it's helping me because the moment I open the news, laptop, emails, everything, it's all the same stuff. And it's making me quite depressed and quite anxious. So how would you communicate openly and frequently? Well, I don't think I have the answer for that. When it comes to managing stress and anxiety on a regular basis, yes. And as I said, you're probably going to feel a bit sad at some point. You're going to feel isolated at some point. You're going to feel that you miss the human interaction. Absolutely. And I'm super vulnerable here. That's the reality. I do cry, I do laugh, I get angry, and I get quiet all in one day. And that doesn't make me crazy. That doesn't make me insane. I'm completely normal like everyone else. is just I'm allowing myself to feel all of this stuff. And when I'm done with it, the next day I'm actually fresh as a cucumber because I've allowed myself to be in this moment and time. Okay, I do try to be positive, and when a panic attack comes, I do realize what are my triggers. So remember when I mentioned earlier, understand what triggers your sadness, or what will help you preserve this good mood, and put some more of it. Sometimes emotional injections are a really good idea. Listening to nice music, play the piano, call a friend for 10 minutes, stare, literally stare from the window for 5 minutes. Small tricks like that so that the brain is having a break. Okay. Now, I'm sure that you're interested in this part, which is probably the most exciting for you because it's actual practical stuff. But if you have any questions at any point, of course, I'm going to leave until the end, but just feel free to jump around, okay? Now, when it comes to the mindset and behavior apps, as I said, being remote and being entrepreneur means I have to be on quite tight budget, okay? And a lot of this stuff are either absolutely free and you can literally install them now as I'm talking, or you can just check them later. Not all of them will be useful for you, but this is exactly what I'm using on a daily basis. The first two, Breathe and Calm, both have premium versions, obviously, but I'm using the free ones. And these are meditation apps. These are short 5 to 10 minutes meditations. I'm not saying about going for an hour in Zen and, meditating, and, that might not be your thing. 5 to 10 minutes. Literally, when I wake up, I put a morning meditation, I switch to operational mode, but I know I've done that for myself, okay? The second one, that's pretty cool. It's called Motivate, and it's free, and you can basically personalize your interests, and you receive every day a nice quote. And it's not like, oh, you're the best, you rock. It's obviously smart stuff from smart people, but sometimes you'll be so surprised how much it resonates with your situation right now, with what you're thinking. And I do share it with a lot of my individual clients when I'm doing career consultancy, because sometimes it's just really pushing you. It's something that is quite nice. And it's free. It's free on your mobile phone. That's another favorite. Let me see why it's not showing. Yeah, Day One. It's an online journal. It's an online journal. And the cool thing is that you put one photo of the day. So it could be right now me doing this webinar. So I'm doing a photo now, and I'm going to put that in my journal tonight. And I'm going to say, today I hosted my first Building a Remote Muscle webinar. And you remember that. I actually opened that yesterday, and I saw some stuff from 2018, and it warms my soul. Absolutely. It's really, really cool app. The next two are related to physical exercise. Yes, whenever you have the time. If yoga is not your thing, I love stretching, but these two are short circuits. So let's say within 10 to 20 minutes, there are different exercises, and they're short videos that are timed as well, which is super cool because they show you the exercise. So there is an animation doing, push-ups and squats, and it gives you, okay, 2 minutes left. And then you have 30 seconds pause, you get to the next program. So it's free, it's interactive, it's pretty cool. If you don't want to join like live yoga sessions or anything like that, I tend to do this twice a week, not even more than twice a week. And then the last one, for those of you enthusiasts who want to, I wouldn't say experiment, but this is something really interesting when it comes to learning how to fast and what are the benefits of healthy fasting. So I'm not putting any recipe apps because I think they're quite subjective, all of them, but you can totally find a lot of YouTube videos as well, versus these particular apps that are a bit more sophisticated, I think. I quite like the body fast. I've tried 2 of the different routines and it worked well for me. So why not? It might work well for you as well. When it comes to productivity and finance, some of these apps would be beneficial not only when you're an employee, but when you're a consultant as well, or if you have individual practice, if you want to be a freelancer as well. But they will also be helpful if you are an employee. So Revolut, without a doubt, you've heard about this giant. It's one of the first online banks. To open an account is absolutely free. You can decide whether you want a physical card, and obviously you have to put some money in. But the good thing about it is that transfers from one person to another are just like that, simultaneous. Like it's not simultaneous, but it's right away. So when I'm sending money to my parents, I do use the Revolut, and they're immediately in their account versus sending international transfer. Wave, this is another one, and I really love it because if you are providing invoices, if you're small and medium-sized business and you don't want to pay for a specific platform, Wave actually gives you free opportunity to create personalized invoice, keep track of your sales. So it's like a very basic sales system, so CRM system as well. It's pretty nice. All of these have mobile apps, websites, and sometimes they also have application for your computer as well. Productivity, these two are lifesavers. Todoist is a free to-do list, and you can create different projects. So let's say project home, project work, project webinars, project spare time, project hobbies. You can invite people to collaborate. So let's say if you want to involve your family, your kids, your partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, that's kind of like a group to-do list. And it's pretty cool if you don't like the good old paper sheets like I do. Focus Keeper is the so-called Pomodoro effect. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's on your phone, and that is the one thing that can help you eliminate procrastination, eliminate working too long on one task, or sitting on your bum for hours. Now, I've invested in ergonomic chair, and I also have a ball, which is a gym ball, it's called. So when I spoke about behavior and creating, a healthy environment for remote work, I am not the ideal example for that because I still work in various different positions. But if you have a budget, if your employer is providing a budget, if you want to invest, this is very critical. Okay, it's not only the apps, it's also the physical environment you create. Okay, moving on. Drive and Dropbox, free. Totally free. Amazing resource in terms of having additional space on the cloud, and you can put a lot of different stuff there. So yeah, I think it's basically a go-to for absolutely everything. It doesn't need a lot of explanation at this stage. Obviously, from communication, Zoom and Slack, both are free, particularly those of you who are going to look for remote opportunities, remote resources, being part of a community. Slack is amazing. There's so many groups on Slack. You just need to do your investigation and join these Slack groups. It's easy to keep yourself engaged. You receive notifications. The app is on your mobile phone and on your computer. I personally really like it. Zoom has a free option. I'm using the premium one, and the premium one is only €18 a month. So it's not significant in terms of the cost, and you can basically host quite large gatherings, and there is no limitation in terms of the duration. So that's the difference between the free Zoom and the premium Zoom. And then the last one is TimeBuddy. So if you work with international partners, if you work with multiple time zones, this is amazing because I just open it and I see what is EDT, what is AET. So immediately it showcases the different time zones. So it really helps me stay up to date. If I'm signing up for free webinars in America or in Asia, I'm able to keep track of what time that is. Now, when it comes to additional resources that I wanted to share with you, Calendly, the last one. Sorry, it's actually, there is one more, but I was just about to say in terms of keeping your calendar posted. So if you have clients that you're still interacting with, whether you are employed or whether it's consultancy business that you have. Calendly has obviously free and premium. I'm using the free version because I'm having only one type of meetings, which are 15 minutes. And what I do is I embed the link to Calendly on my signature in my email. So book time with me, and then there is the embedded link, so people can click, people can see my calendar, so the availability, because it's synchronized with my Outlook. So people can see, they can book a slot, and they receive a reminder, and I receive a reminder, and that's for free. So you don't have to go back and forth. Oh, is that time convenient for you? No, okay, let's think about alternative. Calendly eliminates that. So it's one of my favorite. And last but not least, you'll be surprised, voice memo. I'm using Apple products, so I don't know if Android has something like that, but I do record myself quite often. Ideas, how I feel, impressions, something that bothered me. When you're remote, it's a bit more difficult to vent, okay? It's like scheduling a Zoom call for venting with your friends or with your colleagues. And you don't want to bother them. I know that feeling. You don't want to be perceived as the moaner. I vent on my own phone. I record myself, I'm pissed off or I'm crying, and suddenly I feel better. It's so, so incredibly simple. As I said, it might not work for you, but I personally really, really like it. And then last but not least, because I'm mindful of time and I promise this is obviously a 40-minute webinar, About Me is a great free, like a landing page, I'd say, or like a mini website. And I want to show you actually how mine looks like. Let me see why I'm not sharing that. So I might share my screen for a second. And I'll show you how mine looks like. Okay. Right, let me share it again. Okay, yeah, that's it. Perfect. So I hope you see that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, it doesn't seem to appear for some reason. Let me just share my desktop. I think that will be the best case scenario. Yeah. So yeah, you should be able to see the About Me page. So this is something that is quite interesting. I really, really like it. And it's basically, you put a short brief about who you are, especially if you're a consultant, and you have a link to your website or to your LinkedIn profile. Even if you're looking for jobs, I think that would be a good option, because you can create some kind of like a mini CV and then prompt people to go to your LinkedIn profile. I actually have that embedded in my personal email as well, so that people can see, oh, who is Radina? And then they can decide to get in touch with me. Okay, I'm stopping the sharing again so that I show you my presentation. Perfect. Okie dokie. So WordPress, again, WordPress provides you the opportunity to share your experience, so like a virtual CV, and it's absolutely for free. There are options on WordPress where you can have like a very basic website about your services or about who you are, and that's totally for free. I already mentioned the Slack groups. Now on Facebook, there are a lot of interesting groups for digital nomads, people that are already working remotely. They share a lot of nice hacks, job opportunities, events, activities. So you're still feeling part of a community, okay? Remote work channels, loads of job boards, loads of different, as I said, activities and opportunities for people to engage and to learn more about each other's grind, okay? When it comes to the right-hand side, so Fiverr, Freework, Freelancer.com, and Upwork, these are websites for freelancers. And I know you might be thinking, oh gosh, I hope I don't get there, But if for some reason you decide to go this path, that might be quite interesting for you. Because there are loads of interesting opportunities there. Some of them require like a small fee to sign up, but other than that, you can get some interesting gigs, and we live in a, you know, in a gig economy world anyway. JobSpotter, FOP, and ZitFit are basically, as I call them, side hustle. JobSpotter works in certain countries. I think it's only in English-speaking countries at this stage. And it's a platform created by the job boards. Basically, if you see, and again, I'm saying that that sometimes might not be the case now because we're all a bit closed. But let's say if you see a job advertising somewhere on a shop, on a bar in the near future, you can use that, and you can basically send a screenshot of this job notification or announcement, and you can send that there, and you receive something like a referral, which is very, very interesting platform. I've seen it working in the UK and the States. Might be interesting in Ireland at some point. Pope is where you post your own photos, not of yourself, obviously, but let's say you do have a great camera or a mobile device and you take interesting photos. So you can post them there, create a gallery, and people might decide to buy them from you. So it's again an interesting way to get extra cash. And ZitFit is actually, if you have old books or books that you're never going to read again, you can screen basically the QR code behind. So it's a specific code. I don't think it's called QR code actually. And the label basically, and you can sell them. And you can sell them for a specific price, whatever it's evaluated by the platform. So it's another way of, you know, generating a bit of cash in crazy times. I'm not going to focus on anything else because these are the ones that I'm using occasionally, and I find them interesting. Great. Well, I hope this was interesting. I wanted to check if there are any questions from you, anything that you want to ask me, or anything in particular that I haven't touched on.